Some stories don't ask for your comfort, they ask for your surrender. House of Rayne is not just a dark romance, it's a descent into desire, into control, and into the parts of ourselves that we're always told to fear. But sometimes what destroys us is also what sets us free. Today we're going to dive deep into House of Rayne by Harley Laroux. Hey readers, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wendy, and today we are going to be discussing House of Rayne. Now, this book is considered a fantasy, romance, but also paranormal. And boy, do I have a lot to discuss today. But first and foremost, I just want to say that this book was not what I was expecting at all. There's something ritualistic in how this story unfolds. So let's go into what this book is about. This book is about a girl named Salem, and Salem has gotten through a breakup and someone that she was supposed to marry and spend the rest of her life with. However, this person cheated on her and she set out on a mission to travel and kind of distract her mind from this breakup and what would have been her wedding day and honeymoon. She sits at a bar and then she meets this girl who she doesn't know her name, and the girl doesn't really want to know her name either, and they don't exchange information, and ultimately they get freaky in a bathroom, and it was kind of like a one-night stand. They thought that that was it and they will never see each other again. However, Salem was very wrong. She met this girl again. Her name is Rayne, and she met her at a place or an island where she decided to spend 2 weeks of vacationing just to kind of distract her mind. However, she booked this trip prior to knowing who Rayne was, and boy was it a huge surprise when she saw this girl and she's like, oh my gosh, I was thinking about this girl and I really like her after our one night stand, and here I am in front of her. And what is interesting about this book is that it's a dual POV, so it goes through the POV of not only Salem but also Rayne. And just to be transparent with you guys, this is a LGBTQIA friendly book, so this book features a romance between these two females. And this is actually my second LGBTQIA friendly book, and I kind of like it. And this is me speaking as a married straight woman. I've been married for 14 years, so I absolutely love diving into different themes and different tropes and different experiences. So continuing on with the story, basically Salem is at this house for the next 2 weeks. However, there are creepy things happening in this house, and it is scary, like, you know, ghost scary, secrets in this small community, this small island. Everybody kind of knows each other and everybody knows everybody's business. However, they look at who Rayne is and they depict her as a sinner because, well, she's a lesbian. And this town is very much like, I'm going to church on a Sunday, everything is closed, nothing is open. They are very much judgmental. And to make things crazier, Rayne's father was a preacher, and things started getting out of hand once her mother gets murdered, and then her father is found dead as well. So this story goes through a whole mirage of different things that happen to these two girls, and Salem quickly realizes that this is now reality. It's not a nightmare that she's living through. She is seeing things, she is experiencing things. Things could only reside in her nightmares. I have never also read a paranormal book, so this is also my first paranormal experience, and I actually enjoyed it. It was different than what I'm used to. I don't mind reading another paranormal again. And of course, this story covers a lot of secrets hidden in Rayne's home and what happens and how can they get out of this island. They can't get out of the island and go to the mainland because they hear voices, and those voices and screams become louder in their minds, and that prompts people to come back to this island. So people cannot escape the island, and if they do, they return, and they also hear paranormal things happening, which is insane to me. So Rayne goes to the mainland to get other human interaction and one night stands because that is the only form of human interaction with people outside of her town and island that she can get. My rating for this book is a 5-star. it kept me intrigued. It kept me on my toes. I wanted to know what happens. And even though I will admit, and I will be transparent, I kind of knew where the story was going, nothing really caught me off guard. I felt that it was very predictable. Like, oh, Salem is booked to leave the island tomorrow. Ooh, whoopsie. Well, she's stuck in the island now. And certain things like that I kind of guessed were going to happen did happen. But that doesn't take away from the story and how impactful it was. And I also want to rate the amount of spice in this book. I give this book 5 jalapenos. I mean, there was more than a couple of scenes, if you know what I mean. It was just packed with a lot of passion and a lot of dom. I've never really read anything with like a domineering type of sexual relationship between 2 characters, but I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good, okay? And if you've read this book already, you know exactly the scenes that I'm talking about, especially with the one with the belt around Salem's neck. I was just like, what did she say? But yes, this book is very spicy, and it is very much like, come here and call me ma'am, or wait, she used madam. But yeah, this book was very interesting to say the least. I stayed up till 1 or 2 in the morning reading it. So yeah, I give this book a 5-star. It was awesome. It was creepy. And if you're looking for something to read in this October that gives you Halloween vibes and very much paranormal vibes, this book would be the perfect book for you. So what is my emotional analysis of this book? I just want to start off by saying, from the moment you step into Rayne's home, you feel the tension between punishment and pleasure, and her home was basically something that she reflected as punishment because her father was extremely strict, didn't really like her much, and was always all about God. He was a preacher. And you can also feel the tension between punishment and pleasure, fear and fascination. I felt that Harley Laroux doesn't write darkness for shock value. She writes it as truth, the kind we whisper about but rarely let ourselves feel, because sometimes darkness isn't the villain, it's the mirror. It shows us what we crave when we stop pretending to be good. There's something ritualistic about the way this story kind of unfolds. Each act of submission, each command, each moment of exposure, it's not about losing power. It's about reclaiming it through vulnerability. And Rayne's house becomes an altar. And I feel like this home becomes Rayne's catalyst for healing and actually reflecting and forgiving herself. She isn't broken, she's being remade. What House of Rayne captures so honestly is that desire can be both holy and terrifying. When we talk about healing, we always think of healing as being soft. But healing also lives in the ache and in the surrender, and especially to our own shadow. This story doesn't say you must be pure in order for you to be worthy. It says even your darkness is sacred. And for anyone who's been shamed for what they want, this book feels like a reclamation. This book teaches us that love doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes love looks like destruction because it's burning away the parts of us that were never real. It also reminds us that trust isn't just about safety, it's about being fully seen. And I feel that the relationship between Salem and Rayne truly felt seen by Salem for the first time. And she's mentioned in the book that I have had suitors look at me a certain way, but never the way Salem looks at me. She felt so seen, and she felt like she can conquer anything in the world with Salem, including getting off that damn island. Also, I want to touch upon how creepy this was, and I want to read from a line in the book that made me squirm at like 1 in the morning. And I know I shouldn't be reading paranormal stuff at 1 in the morning, but I honestly did not know what to expect with this book. I only read like the back of it, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a cool book. I'll pick it up and put it on my Kindle. But let me read to you what spooked me, okay? Flaps of skin stretched between its jaw bones as its maw unfolded like a snake's. Spiked tongue-like appendages coiled and writhed between rows of pointed teeth. Then it dropped to the ground and crawled toward me with terrifying speed. I sprinted. Listen, my heart would have been out of my body. I don't know how I would I have no idea what I would do in that instant, but if I came across a damn monster and that thing got on all fours and started crawling to me, I don't know what I would do. But my soul would literally, I don't even know what I would do. All I know is that I literally was reading this on Kindle. I went like this and I went, oh hell no. I had to stop there before I even read what happened next because I was too scared to read what was gonna happen next to Salem, okay? But I did enjoy this book. I do recommend this book. If you have not picked it up, I recommend it. It is a really good read, especially for this October. So please make your way to Barnes & Noble. It's actually also on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Download it. But I do want to conclude with this. If you've ever looked at your darkness and wondered if it could ever be loved, this story might just whisper yes. And this book is also for us to remind ourselves that there is beauty in ruin. And this book just made me feel like I was coming home. There is as much of trauma in this book from Rayne's past and her uncovering secrets as there is healing. And I think that was the beauty of this book. Have you read this book? Or is it in your TBR? Let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? Or are you going to be reading this book? And does it appeal to you? And if this video spoke to you, stay a while. I cover a lot more deep dives and I love talking about books. So if you are a book lover just like I am and want to discuss other materials, I am here. Don't forget to like this video if you like my content, and also don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate every single view and I appreciate anybody coming here and commenting and also just listening to my voice. So thank you guys for being here and thank you guys for your support, and I will see you next time.